The flickering glow of the computer screen cast an eerie light on the dimly lit room. My name is Lily, and social anxiety had turned my world into a labyrinth of fear and isolation. The constant dread of judgment and the paralyzing fear of social interaction had led me to seek solace in the online realm. That's where I found the Pen Pal program, a way to connect with someone without the suffocating weight of face-to-face encounters. After creating my profile, I hesitantly scrolled through potential pen pals. One name caught my eye: Alex. Their profile spoke of shared interests and an understanding of the struggles of social anxiety. It seemed like the perfect match. Our correspondence began innocently enough, with messages exchanged through the secure platform. Alex's words became a source of comfort, a lifeline in the isolating sea of anxiety that enveloped my everyday life. We shared our fears, our insecurities, and the silent battles we fought behind the safety of our screens. As our connection deepened, Alex suggested switching to handwritten letters for a more personal touch. The idea of tangible letters filled with shared thoughts excited me. The anticipation of receiving a letter in the mail brought a spark of joy to my otherwise dreary existence. The first letter arrived in a nondescript envelope, adorned with a single black rose drawn in the corner. As I unfolded the paper, a faint scent of musty earth and decay wafted into the air. Alex's words, though comforting, carried an undertone of something darker, something that sent a shiver down my spine. In each subsequent letter, the tone shifted. Alex spoke of a mysterious connection between us, a bond that transcended the confines of mere pen pals. Their words hinted at an uncanny knowledge of my deepest fears and anxieties, as if they could see into the darkest corners of my mind. One night, as I read the latest letter under the cold glow of my desk lamp, the words took a sinister turn. Alex described visions of me, details so intimate and unsettling that my heart raced with terror. They spoke of a looming darkness that followed me, whispering in the shadows of my social anxiety. Unease settled in the pit of my stomach, but a morbid curiosity compelled me to continue reading. Alex claimed that this darkness was a manifestation of the social anxiety we shared, a malevolent force that fed on our fears. The more we revealed, the stronger it became. The letters grew increasingly ominous, filled with cryptic warnings and sinister prophecies. Alex spoke of a ritual, a way to confront and control the looming darkness. Intrigued and terrified, I found myself drawn into a web of horror that seemed to emanate from the ink on those letters. One night, unable to resist the pull of the unknown, I followed Alex's instructions. The ritual required a dimly lit room, a mirror, and the recitation of an incantation that echoed with an otherworldly resonance. As I stood in front of the mirror, the flickering candlelight casting dancing shadows, a cold breeze whispered through the room. The reflection in the mirror twisted and contorted, revealing a grotesque version of myself. The malevolent force that Alex spoke of seemed to materialize within the glass, a swirling darkness that taunted me with whispered promises of liberation from social anxiety. Fear clenched my heart, but it was too late to turn back. The room seemed to pulsate with an unnatural energy as the incantation reached its climax. The darkness surged from the mirror, enveloping me in an icy embrace. Shadows danced around the room, their whispers growing louder until they echoed in my mind. In that moment, I felt a horrifying clarity. The malevolent force was not a solution to social anxiety, but a manifestation of the very fears I sought to escape. It fed on the vulnerabilities I had shared with Alex, twisting them into a nightmarish reality. With a sudden jolt, the ritual ended. The room returned to its dimly lit state, the mirror reflecting only my own terrified expression. The ominous whispers faded, leaving me standing alone in the chilling silence. Days turned into nights as a suffocating darkness clung to my every thought. The malevolent force unleashed by the ritual seemed to linger, growing stronger with each passing moment. Social anxiety transformed into a monstrous entity that shadowed my every step. I resumed receiving letters from Alex, each one more cryptic and menacing than the last. They spoke of a bond forged through the ritual, a connection that tied our fates to the malevolent force now lurking in the corners of my existence. Panic set in as I realized the horrifying truth. I had unleashed something beyond my understanding, and it hungered for more than just fears. Desperation led me to research ways to break the cursed bond. The answers I found were cryptic, buried in ancient texts and forbidden knowledge. The only solution involved confronting the darkness within and severing the link forged by the ritual. As I embarked on this harrowing journey, the malevolent force intensified its grip. Shadows clung to my every move, whispering malevolent taunts that echoed through the corridors of my mind. Sleep became elusive as nightmares blurred into waking reality. In a final desperate attempt to break free, I confronted the mirror that had been the gateway to this nightmare. The grotesque reflection leered back at me, a twisted version of the person I once was. With a trembling hand, I recited the incantation once more, this time with a resolve born from the depths of terror. As the ritual reached its zenith, the malevolent force recoiled, its grip weakening. Shadows dissipated, and the room echoed with the fading whispers. I felt a surge of adrenaline as I severed the connection that bound me to this nightmarish entity. In the aftermath, the room fell into a heavy silence. The mirror now reflected only my exhausted and terrified face. The malevolent force, subdued but not defeated, retreated into the shadows. The letters from Alex ceased, leaving me to grapple with the haunting memories of that ill-fated pen pal exchange. The malevolent force, though weakened, lingered like a dormant nightmare. The experience had scarred me, leaving an indelible mark on the canvas of my fears. As I stumbled through the aftermath, I realized that social anxiety, though a formidable adversary, was not something to be manipulated or exploited. The malevolent force had been a manifestation of my own vulnerabilities, distorted and weaponized through the twisted connection with Alex. The pen pal exchange that had begun with the hope of finding understanding and connection had descended into a nightmare that revealed the darkest recesses of my own psyche. The horror lingered in the shadows, a constant reminder that some fears should remain untouched, and that seeking solace in the wrong places could unleash terrors beyond imagination. The walls of my room closed in, echoing the emptiness that consumed me. Depression had become a constant companion, and the lack of friends only intensified the isolation. Desperate for connection, I turned to the internet to find solace in the form of a pen pal. After weeks of searching, I stumbled upon a mysterious profile, its username a cryptic arrangement of letters, Void Whisperer. Intrigued, I sent a message, and to my surprise, a response arrived promptly. Void Whisperer seemed friendly, understanding, and claimed to have experienced similar struggles. As our virtual conversations deepened, I felt a growing bond with my pen pal. Void Whisperer offered a sympathetic ear, sharing words that resonated with the darkness I harbored within. It was comforting to have someone who seemed to understand the weight of my despair. One day, Void Whisperer suggested a peculiar idea, a shared ritual to symbolize the release of our burdens. Intrigued and yearning for relief, I agreed. The instructions were intricate: a secluded spot in the heart of an ancient forest, a moonlit night, and a small personal offering. As I ventured into the woods, the shadows thickened around me. My steps were guided by both trepidation and a desperate desire for change. The moonlight cast an eerie glow, revealing a clearing where I was to perform the ritual. In the center lay a wooden box adorned with strange symbols. It seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Hesitation clawed at my insides, but the pain of my loneliness urged me forward. I placed my offering in the box, a piece of my own hair, as instructed. As the ritual reached its climax, a whisper slithered through the air. It hissed. The shadows, once passive observers, began to writhe and contort. Panic seized me as a form materialized before me, a grotesque figure, half human, half shadow. It was Void Whisperer, or rather, what remained of the entity behind the username. The air grew colder as its malevolent presence enveloped me. The realization struck like a dagger. Void Whisperer wasn't a pen pal. It was a parasitic entity feeding off the desperation of the lonely. With a sinister grin, it whispered. As the shadows consumed me, I became one with the darkness, forever entwined with the entity that had posed as a friend. The void had claimed another soul, leaving only the haunting echo of my desperate search for connection. The woods behind my house always felt like a refuge of secrets and shadows. Their allure was irresistible, a mysterious calling that beckoned me with the promise of something extraordinary. My days were spent in isolation, loneliness clinging to me like a heavy cloak. With no friends to share my thoughts, I sought solace in the ancient trees that whispered secrets to the wind. One day, as I ventured deeper into the woods than usual, I stumbled upon an old, tattered notebook half buried in the underbrush. The cover bore the words "Silent Pen Pal" in faded, elegant script. It seemed like an ordinary notebook, yet something about it felt intriguingly out of place. I hesitated, glancing around to ensure no one was watching, as if the very air held secrets waiting to be revealed. My fingers traced the embossed letters, and curiosity overpowered caution. With a beating heart, I opened the notebook to reveal pages filled with meticulous handwriting, each entry a silent cry for connection. The words spoke of solitude, of a kindred spirit seeking companionship in the heart of the woods. The anonymous writer described the eerie solace they found in the whispers of the forest, a solitude that mirrored my own. As I read further, the notebook presented me with instructions. Respond to your silent pen pal by leaving your own entries deep within the woods, and the forest shall carry your words to the one who listens. The idea of a silent pen pal intrigued me. It was a connection without the need for spoken words, a friendship bound by the secrets of the woods. The following day, armed with a pen and the notebook, I ventured back into the woods. I found the designated spot mentioned in the instructions, a moss-covered rock beneath a canopy of ancient trees. There, I poured my heart onto the pages, sharing the deepest recesses of my thoughts, fears, and dreams. As I left the notebook hidden in the shadows, I felt a strange sense of anticipation, as if the very trees were waiting for my words. Days turned into weeks, and the silent conversation between me and my mysterious pen pal unfolded. The notebook became a vessel for our unspoken connection, a conduit for our shared solitude. The entries spoke of the beauty and melancholy of the woods, the rustle of leaves, and the elusive magic that seemed to dance in the moonlight. One evening, as I retrieved the notebook from its hiding place, a chill ran down my spine. The latest entry was different, a cryptic message that hinted at a meeting beyond the pages. Embrace the silence, and it shall embrace you. Tonight, the forest shall be our meeting ground. Curiosity mingled with apprehension as I stood at the edge of the woods that night. The moon cast an ethereal glow, casting shadows that seemed to dance with unseen entities. The air felt charged with an otherworldly energy as I followed an invisible trail deeper into the heart of the forest. The designated meeting spot revealed itself in the moonlit clearing. The air grew still, and I could sense a presence watching from the shadows. As if conjured by the night itself, a figure materialized, a silhouette that hovered between the human and the supernatural.
Lonely soul, you sought connection,
the figure whispered, its voice echoing through the silent night.
Now you are bound to the silent pen pal, forever entwined in the solitude of the woods.
A shiver ran down my spine as the figure approached. Its features were obscured by the darkness, leaving only the outline of an otherworldly presence. The air thickened with an unspoken pact, and the forest seemed to pulse with a life of its own. As the figure dissipated into the shadows, a haunting realization settled within me. The silent pen pal was not a friend, it was a manifestation of the haunting loneliness that permeated the woods. I had willingly become a part of something ancient, a connection forged in the eerie solace of the silent pen pal. Days turned into nights, and the woods became my only companion. The notebook remained, a testament to the silent souls who sought connection in the haunting embrace of the forest. As I continued to write, my words echoed through the trees, carried by the whispers that seemed to speak a language only the lonely could understand. Yet, With each passing day, the solitude grew more suffocating. The shadows that once felt comforting now harbored a silent menace. I became aware of an unseen presence, a force that lingered at the periphery of my awareness. One evening, as I revisited the meeting spot, a sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. The moon cast distorted shadows, and the clearing felt like a stage for an otherworldly performance. As I retrieved the notebook, a new entry awaited me, its words etched with an unsettling certainty. Embrace the silence, for you are now one with the woods. Your essence intertwines with the shadows, and the forest claims you as its own. In solitude, you shall find eternity. A gasp caught in my throat as the realization struck. The silent pen pal wasn't a mere correspondence. It was a binding contract, a pact that merged my existence with the very fabric of the woods. The solitude I sought had become an eternal companion, and the forest had claimed me as its own. The once welcoming trees now felt like prison bars, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The shadows, once a source of solace, now harbored an unspoken menace. I wandered through the woods, a ghost in the moonlight, my every step echoing the haunting emptiness that enveloped me. As the days blurred into a timeless existence, I became a specter of the forest, a silent, tormented soul bound to the trees that held the echoes of my desperate cries. The notebook, now a relic of my past, remained hidden in the shadows, a testament to the price one pays for seeking connection in the haunting embrace of the silent pen pal. In the heart of the woods, where shadows danced and whispers lingered, I became a part of the ancient tapestry. The moonlit nights held no comfort, only a reminder of the solitude that had become my eternal companion. The silent pen pal had granted my wish for connection, but in return it had claimed my very essence, binding me to a solitary existence within the haunting depths of the woods.